Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to this first live, A Cup of Success, that I'm super, super excited to be hosting today. Very quickly, A Cup of Success started in Spanish, Un Café con el Éxito, a year ago, and it started as a test. Me wanting to bring a lot of subjects about career, professional, and personal development, and it got even better when I started interviewing people. So the whole concept, I'm bringing it in English. It's the first time that I do this in English with this name, A Cup of Success. And obviously, I'm not going to do this alone. I have a special guest, very special guest to start this with me, and I will introduce her very quickly. So for those of you who do not know me or is on the first time that you see me, my name is Jessica Rojas. I'm a professional Reinvention mentor. What does that mean? It means that I help people who want to transform their careers, who want to work differently, because you know that you can do better, that you deserve better, and that maybe you are not really achieving the best potential or really enjoying life as you should, and you know that you deserve some change. And that's why I help you to do something that matters and to earn money for that and to find a balance in your life. So that's what is called career reinvention. So let's get to the point where we're here today. Is about, we're going to be talking about mastering your workflow and making the best out of our days. And for this, I have the beautiful Carol Williams with me, brilliant professional coach as well, actually business coach and productivity coach, who has been around doing this for the past 15 years, if my calculations are correct, and who has brilliant ideas, and she's very inspiring, and she's going to bring light to all of us as well. So, Carol, thank you for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. Oh my gosh. Well, how do I follow that? So all those things are true. And I especially loved when you said about the light, about shining my light or something about my light. And as you can see, if anybody is watching instead of listening, you can see Beacon of Light Center. So that's the name of my company. It actually used to be something else, even though I started in 2009. And in 2022, I pivoted to that name. Didn't change a lot of me or anything, because I was still coaching, of course, but I changed the name. And there's a lot to a name. And so my mission is not so different than yours, Jessica, but just kind of how we work is a little different, and we're different people, right?
Yeah.
So as you said, I help people with productivity in business because that's what people say they want. But you know what I really do? I help ignite the flame for solopreneurs who want something more. They're going around the hamster wheel. You know what I'm talking about. They're getting up, doing the things, kind of getting tired, wondering why I can't get out of my frigging own way. Those are my people. And I help them, in a process that's behind me. We won't get into that, but that's what I do for a living. Yeah.
Excellent. So I told you in the post, and everybody who's connected here or who will be watching this later, you're going to be inspired. That's the session today. And I'm super thankful that Carol is here with me for this first cup of success. So
Beautiful.
I am an entrepreneur, as you said, a solopreneur, because I've been working as a freelancer for the past almost 10 years now. I know what it's like to trying to do everything on your own. And for many reasons, I help many clients also to sort things out and to maybe find a structure, maybe find a business idea, or maybe putting that idea into an actual market. And that's a lot. So we say this very easily in a few words, but that means a lot of things, and we can easily get lost in the process. So this live, we're going to be sharing a lot of things, and Carol is going to inspire us with many ideas that will be also, it applies to people who are in not only in a business or solopreneurs, people who have roles in the corporate world as well, but it's especially meant for people who are like us, and we're really trying to find the best way to do what we do and to create the best value, knowing that we have to manage a lot of things. So there are many things coming into my mind right now, but I have one thing that I would like to ask you. What is the secret to a blissful, productive day?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, I know we only have about 30 minutes, so or 30-ish minutes. So I'm gonna try to dial it down to the most important things to kind of walk away with. What I know for sure is when you watch something or listen to something or read something and you're just fire hosed with a lot of information, the likelihood that you're going to remember it is pretty darn low. So I have three short phrases for everybody to remember. Okay. And you're going to be like, really, that's it, Carol? But I'm telling you. So workflow wise, what we want to do is we want to keep it simple. We want to keep it clear. And we want to remember that less is more. So I'll say that again. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Less is more. We, especially as entrepreneurs, we have a lot of ideas. We have them all the time. We have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. It's like the biggest thing I can say is create basic structure.
All right.
And that's when I say keep it simple. In the courses that I run, I do group coaching. There's a lot more to it, but it really boils down to it sounds easy and it's not so easy. It sounds easy and it's not so easy and we can get into this. I'm not going to get into the details right now. I'm going to let you lead me on that. I'm going to give you a couple other things. So those three things: keep it simple, keep it clear, less is more. We got that, right? Hopefully everybody can remember that much. Next.
I actually took notes of it.
The next thing I want you to remember is simple, not easy. Decide is deceptive. The first thing behind me, we can't see it all, and it's A-okay. You don't need to see it all back here. But this is my success path that I take people through. The first step is decide. It's deceptively easy. We think we've decided something. I'll give you an example that isn't what I coach on. We decide to lose weight at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
We have almost everybody has that. Eat better and lose weight and, go to the gym. It's such, that's what we say. But have we really decided it? Not really, because it's just what we're talking about. So we want to, but there's all this other stuff going on. And it's this subconscious stuff that's coming up like underground and pulling us down to our habits, right? To our habits and to our fears. They live within us and they are lots of times sabotaging us because of lots of different things. Again, we have a short amount of time, but I'm sure you do too. But a lot of what I do with people is I actually help them uncover what those really are in a really safe place, because I don't care how many productivity workshops you go to, webinars, like you can talk to a lot of people about their career, but if you don't really understand what makes their heart beat and makes them on fire, like they're probably not they're going to be back in a year or 2 or 3, right? Because they just they get burned out again or something. So we have that in common. So anyway, decide is deceptive. Now I want to say one tiny little thing. Decide, you can do it a lot of different ways. You can, I have a process, right? It's decide, discern, discover, practice, celebrate, that's on my website. We won't go into that. There's a workshop coming up on January. That's a 2-hour in-depth, but whatever you do, or you can talk to me or do it some other way. However you do it, make sure when you decide, you really go deep. Okay. That's what I want to say about decide. The other part of this, of the simple, not easy, I have 4 things to say. 1, know what you want. Deep. Sounds easy, not easy. 2, slow down. The biggest mistake I have made in my 15 years, especially the very beginning, is not slowing down enough to speed up. Is going really fast because I was in fear and anxiety and trauma and, I got to do this. And no. Slow down to speed up. That's number 2. Number 3, redefine what is failure. We think failure is, okay, well, I wanted 3 clients. I didn't get 3 clients. No. That is not failure. The failure would be, I'm afraid to put that post up. I'm afraid to ask somebody for coffee. I don't want to give a real proposal. So I'll just bring them in for free or for really cheap, like that's failure, you guys. Like
Yeah,
that is failure. So
definitely.
redefine what failure is and instead bring on let's just try this out mindset. Let's just try it out. Life is an experiment. And you know what? Solopreneurism, if that's a word, is an experiment. Now, going with that is number 4. So 3 and 4 kind of work together, right? So number 4 is make sure that you have like your team. So you want to have a mentor, somebody who has done this before. Somebody who's done this before. So if they're looking for a new career, they need to talk to you. Don't just be out there looking at ads because they're
Yeah.
probably going to go down and repeat the same problem, right? So make
Yeah, they
sure
repeat the same patterns all over. Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
The second thing is make sure they have like a community, some accountability, friends, family, but that's really important. Going it
Mhm.
alone is the biggest reason I think that people will fail because they
I
just feel
agree.
lost and alone. And the last but not least, and this is really important, is have a system. Like have a step by step. Sure, you can go off the rails. I love to go off the rails, but you've got to generally know, like, right? So those 3 things. Then when you have all that, now you get to experiment and you're not going to be off in la la land. Or if you are, you've got somebody, you've got your mentor, your coach, your community to go, hang on, Jessica, where'd you go? Like, right. And they can bring you in. So that's the simple and not easy part.
Perfect. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of things. I took a lot of notes because this is also like a class for me. So thank you very much, Carol. The last time we spoke, Carol and I connected recently and we had a beautiful conversation. And I knew she had a lot of things to share. And you will see more in her upcoming workshop in January. So I'm sure it will be even more enlightening.
Yeah.
But I love many things that you said. I took note of that. And there is something that really resonated with me, and it's the word decision. And
Mm,
there is something that I always tell my clients. So you can have a lot of ideas, you can have even the intention. Having the intention of doing something is really what creates everything, right? It's what creates the energy. But nothing happens until you actually make a decision,
mhm,
an authentic, personal, 100% I'm responsible for decision.
mhm.
And this is something that I proven myself many times, not only as an entrepreneur, but I would say in most of my areas of my life. But this is something that I like to insist. The only way to get results and the only way to get on track in an actual process, whether it is career reinvention, entrepreneurship, anything, starts with a decision.
Mm,
And this is something amazing because most of the decisions happen from our subconscious level. So
100.
sometimes, or 100%, right? So we have made a decision, and when that decision is made, things just happen. It's just that sometimes we're not aware of that or we're not conscious about it. And when we want to create something and it's not happening, and we think, well, why isn't it happening? What is going on? Maybe I need to take care of this, or maybe I need to take care of that, or maybe I need to take care of these other things. That's when we get scattered, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And we need to go back to the basic things, fundamentals, and make a conscious decision. And I love that idea. And to be honest, I had a question for you, but I think you already answered that one. But I
Sure.
will I will I will give it to you anyway. So according to your experience, and
Hmm.
again, I think we will go back to the same idea. Why is so difficult to, for entrepreneurs to make the most out of our time, to get, we get lost on the process, we lose focus. Does
Yeah.
it have to do with this decision, or according to your experience, does it have to do with something else?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So deciding is important, but then what I realized is that I'm going to answer this based on my process, and then I'll tell you more detail. So I used to have decide, and then we went right into the productivity success cake with ideas on the how to do all these things. Okay. And what I didn't do is I didn't do the discernment step. And the
Mm,
discernment step, that deep inquiry, the deep discernment, that actually it's shocking because I started this out when I first added that step in. I did it as a beta test. Highly recommend, by the way, if you're a business owner or anything like this, like the work we do, is always do a beta test. Do it a few times to see. And what I found with that beta test is that people almost didn't need to go to this thing I love, this productivity success cake. Ooh, here's all the ways. Because they knew their mission was so nailed down, like to the center of the earth, that they sure, if you don't know certain things about time blocking or you don't understand some basics, what I call basics, they're not basics to everybody. Planning your day, like sitting down at the beginning, sitting down at the end, having these like sideboards, I call it, all that doesn't really matter if you don't abso-freaking-lutely love and are 100% committed, actually 500% committed to what you're doing in the world. And that is the deep discernment. So honestly, that is the biggest reason that people fail, because guess what? It will be hard. It will be hard.
Yeah,
So, and even for people who work, in a company, I haven't worked in a company since 2009. So, I don't know what I don't know, but I read a lot. And what I know is that lots of times, for example, managers will just pop over to the company side for a few minutes. They think, oh, well, I'll just give them some more money and then, things will be okay. But most of the time, that's not what people want.
No.
They don't want it.
It doesn't work.
No.
Compensation doesn't work at all levels.
And
for most people, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Right?
Exactly.
They want their values, and lots of times they want to know, maybe not always, because it is in fact a company that they're working for, but they want to know they're making a difference on some level. Or if they have a whole different set of values, like I want to only work 6 hours a week, they have some other thing. But I'm just going for mission-driven people, because wherever they are, if you're a mission-driven person, probably you or me are great people to talk to. Right?
Yeah.
So that is honestly, that is the number one thing, because we will get if we don't want to do, or the other thing is we don't want to do the task. So for example, I'll say people that are trying to do a social media campaign. I'm not like an expert in all this, but I play one on TV once in a while, It's not like my thing, but I know enough to be dangerous. And obviously you and I met that way. So here we are. But but if you don't really know what your message is like, and it doesn't really resonate with you, and you feel like you're fraudulent or something, or you kind of like there's this hesitation, then that looks like procrastination. And then it looks much better to scroll social media or go, play games on your phone, or, oh, wait, I was supposed to go pick up the dog, or
anything. And it's a good thing to do. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So really that deep discernment, coupled with knowing what you want, slowing down, redefining failure, and really understanding that you do need those three pieces of the three-legged stool, right? You need the mentor, you need the team, like of people behind you, right? And you need the system. And when you have all of that, you've got many of the ingredients. Do you have everything? No. Well, maybe it's a different interview, learn about my productivity success cake, but we've only got so much time here. But I think that's really it. What else? What other questions do you have?
I think already, this, and hopefully for the people who are watching this, you're picking these ideas as well, and you're taking notes of them, because I think it really helps. I think at the end of this, usually I like to think about everything goes, and most of the time I talk to people who have a lot of things to share. So at the end, it's like, okay, what are the best practices that I can start applying, right? And you've been mentioning a lot of things. So we're talking about slowing down, we're talking about making decisions, we're talking about discernment. And there is a word that comes into my mind when I listen to you, which is alignment. We're talking a lot about many things that brings me back to this idea of, you mentioned this many times, if you don't know what you want, if you don't want to do certain things, it doesn't matter if people pay you more money, because at the end, where you spend your day is where you spend your day, right? Is it your work? Is it whatever you do every day? That's where your day goes. So it doesn't matter if you're getting paid for that, it is important, but how you get to live, how you are living every day at the end is what is heavier in many aspects, right? So alignment to me is super important. And you were saying something about knowing what you want. It brings me back to a client I had. He was an entrepreneur. I mean, he had his own business, but he was also working for the corporate environment because he was a consultant. So he was a little bit in both worlds, if we can say it like that, okay? And he wanted to have coaching with me because he wanted to improve his revenues. He wanted to increase his revenues. And actually, he said, I want to double my revenues. Okay, fine. You want to double your revenues. You have a financial objective. Perfect. How do you plan that? Whatever. So we sort of went through a coaching session where I was able to see limiting beliefs and everything. And I realized something. He hadn't realized, or he hadn't seen himself as a businessman. He had everything sort of separated. It's like, well, and from this hour to this hour, I do this. From this hour to this hour, so I do this. From this, so it's like he had a plan,
Yes.
a productivity plan, if we can say it like that. But there was misalignment with when it comes to understanding identity, professional identity in this case. That's where the problem was. So he couldn't find a way to make more money because he hadn't even seen himself as the person who makes more money.
Yes, that is absolutely, talk about going to the core of things. You get the 10 out of 10 right there. The bell is ringing. Ding, 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 ding.
Exactly. So that's a high level of the whole neuronal system and everything. Is like, okay, who am I? And based on that, what do I do? How do I do it? Et cetera, et cetera. So identity for me, personal and professional identity, in this case, professional identity, is really what creates everything else. Again, if we're not conscious about it, we can bring in all the tools, whether they are productivity tools or artificial intelligence, I don't care. It will do as much, but it will not necessarily create a full blissful productivity day, which is what we're talking about today. So I wanted to add that to everything that you said.
Yeah.
Time keeps running, right? So I wanted to ask you something that I like to ask to everybody who joined A Cup of Success.
Yeah.
And this is important for people who are watching this. You're either going through transition or you want to maybe start a new business, or like everybody, we are going through changes, right? So what would you recommend from your perspective, from your experience as an expert? What would you recommend to somebody who is right now going through a career transition in order to have more alignment and to be more productive?
I love that. So I will speak primarily from my own, because it's always more profound when it comes from your own experience versus other people, right?
Yeah.
I have been through multiple identity shifts. And the one I'm going to identify is when I moved from being an employee with a whole different job, by the way. I was a design professional. I didn't have anything to do with coaching or consulting or any of that stuff, right?
Talk about reinventing your career, right?
Yeah, I had to reinvent my career. And when I did that, it was scary. And it was like the ground beneath me wasn't solid anymore, right? So I feel like in thinking about this question, it kind of boils down to like, I'll call it self-care, but what I'm not talking about is get a manicure once a week. What I'm talking about is, what do I need to feel whole, happy, and healthy, right? What do I need? Because when we shift from one known to something unknown, guess what? We're not grounded. And when we dial in to what we need and actually give it to ourselves, we're grounding ourselves. And when we ground ourselves, we make better decisions, whatever they are. So then the next thing comes into like clear objectives, i.e. knowing what you want. And that sometimes gets uncovered over time, but rinse and repeat. So also know what you don't want. Maybe you don't know what you want. Maybe make a know what I don't want list. I don't want to say yes every time my neighbor asks me to walk her dog now that I'm home all day and I used to be at work all day. Because that's what people do. They're like, oh, wow, look, you don't have a job right now. Wow, can you bring my mother to the doctor? Can you, like, right? It all comes in. And it's like, hang on, your job is looking for a job. And don't make it too hard on yourself. Give yourself what you need. That's what I would say.
Yeah, thank you for that. Because I love the idea of staying grounded. Because when we are in a transformation, everything behind those words is change. Is I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how things will change. I don't know how things will be later, whether it is because I'm looking for a new job or I'm creating a business or I'm taking the adventure of becoming a freelancer. It is, we have to live with uncertainty. And I think we live that better when we're grounded. So I love that advice. So I wish I had that when I was going through my own transitions, but we all go through transitions all the time. So I have it for next time. Thank you so much.
Right.
All right. So Carol, we're reaching the end of this podcast, live, whatever we call it. It has been a lovely interview. It's exactly as I hope it was going to be, because you have many, many amazing, beautiful, and inspiring things to share. But I know this is not the last that we will be seeing from you, right? So, Carol, what's next? If people want to reach out to you, I'm going to share your website.
Oh, beautiful. Unscatterme.com. That's perfect. Now, if they go there and they want to know more, but never even know that, like, they don't want to show their face, that's okay. People like to be hidden. Just go ahead and download the guide, Scattered and Stuck to Focused and Confident. You can do that right away and get started. There's decide ideas on there. But if you really want to get into decide, and I love the part where you talked about changing who you are, like your self-definition, because we actually get to that in my Decide workshop coming up on the 13th of January. Then I'm going to put a link in the show notes. It's basically, I'm looking over here because I wrote it down. It's bit.ly 2024-decide. So if they go to that, they can sign up for the workshop right away. It's limited to 10, and I've got a few people in it already, actually, even though I don't have a sales page.
Hurry up.
Sure what that,
not sure a New Year resolution.
But, yeah. If you get in early, if you get in before Christmas, I'm giving people a few little extra goodies. So I'll keep those a top secret. So if I see you come in, you can expect a little extra. I'll go out on a limb and say Santa's goodies, even though I know not everybody celebrates Christmas. I don't mean it that way. I'm just being fun. So
yeah, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Everything is welcome. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Academy.com. Thank you so much, Carol. We will be posting also the rest of the information. You can start by downloading all the beautiful gifts she has for you. Thank you so much, Carol, for your presence, your lights, and your inspiration as always. And hopefully, maybe we will have the time to do another session another time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All the best for these workshops and all these initiatives. I'm sure you will be helping a lot of people who need to get all these things sorted out. For those of you who are watching this, thank you so much for being connected. I don't see any questions. I have one comment. Thank you so much. Very helpful. No, thank you very much. It was useful, very useful. Okay, excellent. And if you have any questions, because we know that most of the time people watch this later. So if you have any questions, please, you can write them down. We are on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. You can write them down. We're always looking into different comments and questions. So don't hesitate, because I will definitely come back to you on those. Thank you so much, Carol, again. Big kiss, hugs from Madrid. And I'll be seeing you another time. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.